Hey guys, welcome to our reading comprehension lesson this week. And this week we are getting into a new text. We're moving on to lesson 17. You're going to be using your new storybooks. And let's dig in. Always, let's begin with a riddle. Can you guess this riddle? How do baseball players stay cool? Do you know? Guess how? They sit next to their fans. Did you get that, guys? That's really funny. Okay, now let's get into our reading comprehension objectives. At the end of this lesson, we should be able to identify the order of events of the story and 2, visualize to help with my understanding of the story. So first, let us have a look at sequence of events. Now, we have looked at sequence of events before in school, right? Sequence of events basically tell the order in which something happens, right? Now, this is a skill that you can use to help you with understanding a story. So, while you're reading, you stop and you think to yourself, what's happening? What happened first? What happened after? What happened next? What happened then? What happened last? And this helps you when you want to retell the story to someone, or if you have to answer questions about the story. In your mind, you have a clear understanding of how the story took place. Because now if you have to retell the story and you can't remember the order, the story will be all wrong. The person you want to share the story with, they won't even understand the story because the sequence is messed up. Okay? So we always have to remember when we're reading to try to think about how the events are taking place. What happened first, next, then, and last. Now, the strategy that we're going to use to help us with our reading is called visualizing. And we know that good readers always want to understand what they're reading. You don't want to just call words and then at the end of reading it, you can't remember anything you've read or you didn't learn anything. So when we're visualizing, we're creating a mental image in our head. So you're reading and you're kind of thinking, like creating pictures in your mind of how it's all playing out, how it's all happening. You can do this while you're actually reading the words, or if you want to stop now and then to stop and visualize it, that's really good. Okay? You can also use your background knowledge to help you develop these images. So based on shows you may have watched, other books you may have read, what you know about what's going on in the story from your own personal experience, those are the things that are going to help you form these pictures in your mind, right? Now, these images help us to better understand what we are reading, as I mentioned before. So visualizing is very good. You're creating pictures in your mind, kind of like you're watching the show you're reading all in your head. Okay, so try out that strategy as you read today's story. So today's topic is about never giving up. The overall theme is never giving up. And we're going to be using this beautiful, incredible book that's called Luke Goes to Bat. Now, the author of this story is Rachel Isadora, and the genre is realistic fiction. Do you remember what a realistic fiction story is? You're correct. It's a story that could happen in real life, right? So it's not an actual story that happened in real life, but it's something that could happen in real life, right? So when I look at this front cover, I see a boy with a bat, and I believe that boy is Luke. Now, I've also kind of previewed the story a bit, and I see something about a guy named Jackie Robinson. I want to read the story to find out a bit more detail about Luke batting and how it relates to Jackie Robinson, right? And while you're reading the story, I want you to think of the essential question, which is, what words show the order of events in a story? While you're reading this story, I also want you guys to think about why do we keep trying even when something is difficult to do? Why should we keep trying even when something is difficult for us to do? So, listen to the story, follow along in your book. The link is in your learning path for today. Have a good one, guys.